Welcome back to Bookview TV. Now, this week we're talking with Taylor Fulks. She's the author of My Prison Without Bars, and she joins us from her home in Ohio. Now, Taylor, we talked a little bit about, and you mentioned them, but the headlines continue to plague Pennsylvania, College Station in particular, and the football program. Now, Jerry Sandusky has been adjudicated a serial pedophile, even though he's filing for a retrial. What motivates an abuser at that level for that long a period of time?
I think the availability of their victims, the society as well as abusers hone victims into secrecy, silence. And it's usually a person that you trust. It's usually a person that you, it shocks you at first. You don't really know if this is happening, if you're seeing something happen the way you think you're seeing it. So I think it's basically an authority figure taking advantage of the trusting nature of their victims, and also the availability of the victims and the secrecy from others.
Yeah, true. And you've also got that incredulity factor on the part of the person who's being abused. Particularly my abusers were obviously clerics in the church. And, so at some level you've got this thing going on that says, well, maybe this is what God has in mind for me, at least at first. And, you find yourself in those situations. Is there any advice you can give to women and indeed men that find themselves in abusive situations?
Tell. That's the number one thing. Tell. Tell anybody that'll listen. Tell anybody that, you feel that you can trust. I think, too, once it's over with, I think one of the things that just resonates through you over and over and over again is shame, guilt, feeling that you did something to deserve this. And I have found that writing this book, regardless of whether I had published it or not, the greatest thing that I've gotten out of this is reading my words over and over and over again. And it's given me an insight. I can look at reviews and tell who's been abused and who has not, just merely by what they say. I can tell when someone is, very pensive or very disturbed, not in that they say that, just in certain things that they say. And I really think, honestly, that writing it is cleansing. You don't have to publish it. You don't have to share it with anybody. It's just for you to sit there and look at it and say, yes, this did happen to me. And then you can take control of it.
It's interesting that telling is very important, and if you don't tell, and I'm not trying to necessarily find a cause and effect situation here, but I see a lot of situations where a lot of the anger that arises from having been abused ends up being internalized, and then you either end up in a period of self-loathing, or you find yourself as an abusive person yourself exploding at all those around you inappropriately. What do you do in those situations? How do you handle the anger? I mean, you obviously must have some anger.
Oh, I've been ticked off most of my life, but inappropriately. I mean, in the sense that it was internalized, and I was not angry at the appropriate people. And I'm just now finding out it's okay for me to be angry.
Yeah, isn't that cool when you find that out?
It's wonderful, yeah. But it is. It's okay for me to be angry. It's okay for me to feel the things that I feel.
But let me jump in here, because the interesting thing is the society is telling us, oh, no, we must always remain in control at all times. And yet you've got this situation bubbling under the surface where, there's no way to keep it in control. It's like letting the genie out of the bottle or opening Pandora's box. What's your experience been like there?
Oh, absolutely. Well, all I can tell you is writing this book, and for lack of a better word, and I do apologize, but it was word vomit. I mean, it just, once I decided that I was going to do this, there was no turning back for me. I would write 3, 4 chapters in 2 days. And I mean, my chapters are fairly lengthy. But it was such a relief to just get it out. And again, I had never told anybody. I mean, I had never shared my entire story. Bits and pieces, yes, but my entire story I'd never shared with anybody. And it was such a relief to get it out. It's a wonderful thing, and I highly recommend it. Not to publish, not to share, just for yourself.
You know, one of the things I find myself saying to people about the past when they inquire is I'm not in my past, and I express gratitude for being able to move on. That doesn't mean it's gone from what or what happened didn't happen, or you just paper it over with another veneer of denial. What advice do you give to people who are still stuck, though, in that place of reliving their nightmares over and over again?
Seek help. Whether it be counseling, clerical, pastoral person, best friend. You know, the cleansing part of it is the telling. I'm a firm believer that once you tell, once you get it out, then the healing can begin. And I'm not saying you're going to be cured or you're going to be. I use an instance in my book. My daughter, my youngest daughter, when she was 2 years old, hammered nail holes into a piece of furniture. And I took the nails out, did wood filler, sanded, revarnished, restained, the whole 9 yards. And it never took. It never got back to the beauty and the pureness that the original piece of furniture was. It was damaged, and it's always going to be damaged. But it's still functional. It's still beautiful. All I do is cover it with a lamp, and it's good furniture. It still works, and that's me. I'm a piece of furniture. I've had nail holes knocked into me, wood putty, varnish, stain, the whole 9 yards. But I'm good. I'm okay. And I'm still here. Yeah, still here.
You know, the interesting thing is that you also have that feeling from, the Jack Nicholson movie, A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. I mean, do you come across people who cannot handle the truth?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it stems back to, I think, a lot of ignorance. And I think that, the mind only wants stuff that it can handle. And I've taken it a lot farther than what most people can handle. I mean, when you finish my book, you will know what it's like. And, I don't ever ask anybody to buy my book. I don't ask them to read it. That's a personal choice. Some people say child sexual abuse survivors should not read it. If you're easily triggered, no, you shouldn't. I didn't really write it for child sexual abuse survivors. And I hate that word. I call us warriors. But I wrote it for people who have no idea, who have lived a life free of that, to let them know, this is what it's like. So.
Well, it's been a heck of a journey, Taylor. I want to thank you for joining us today on the program. It's an amazing work there, and wish you nothing but the best of success.
Thank you, Dennis, and I really appreciate you having me.
Our guest this week has been Taylor Fulks. She's author of the very powerful autobiographical novel, My Prison Without Bars. Now, her book has won a gold medal in the 2013 Reader's Favorite International Book Award, and also in 2013 the Indie Reader's Discovery Award. It's available in ebook and paperback format on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can read more about Taylor's journey on her blog at www.taylorfulks.com, and you can follow her on Twitter at TaylorTFulks20. Thank you for joining us again this week on BookView TV. Tune in again next week when yet another author will sit across the Skype table from me, and we'll once again discuss books and the craft of writing them. I'm Dennis Campbell saying thank you for joining us, and good night.